me, Maria, back with another video, and I want you to know that I don't really practice my videos, and I'm sure they would be better if I did practice them, because I do write out my notes, I do, but I'm not a great person who does, I'm not good at presentations, I could write them out, but as far as delivering them, I'm not that great. Okay, so anyway, I'm titling this video Philanthropy, and philanthropy is when you basically donate your resources in one form or another, maybe for business or commerce use. And I am giving advice, and hopefully that people will take heed, because it's very important, and it helps promote a positive environment, and hopefully a positive country and a positive world. And so I was thinking today about social responsibility on my lunch break, and the goal is to promote a positive environment from the very beginning for somebody who's working in the workplace, someone in the workplace. And to use professional, ethical, and legal means of hiring candidates, no stalking should be supported. I really think that part of my gang stalking comes from employers, okay? And my family assisting these people, or them assisting my family, or whatever. Putting my house under surveillance, doing these sort of things is not necessary. In order to evaluate an employee, you evaluate them while they are on the job. Okay, so like for example, whatever task they're assigned, you monitor them. How are they doing? Are they making errors? How many errors do they make? Okay, if they do they turn in their work in time? Do they tend to prioritize? Those sort of things, and that's supposed to be evaluated while you're at the job. So also, I think that encouraging a behavior standard among management. Encourage a behavioral standard among management that will trickle down to the rest of the employees. Since people tend to follow, it's really important that managers present themselves in a way that's professional at all times. And they need to understand that bullying will not be tolerated, and they should be trained to recognize signs of bullying. And some of the signs of bullying are, you'll notice that an employee is not participating in activities. This is because the tension gets very high among the other coworkers. They're getting shunned. They're not given credit for their work. I've had things ripped off from me several times. One was when the guy from my last job, who started all this nightmare, asked me 2 times to come over to my house, and I kept thinking, what in the world is he doing? Why does he want to come over? So anyway, he came over. My son was there, it was on the up and up, okay? Anyway, he was there. He basically stole my idea and presented it to the owner of the company, and the owner of the company allowed him to take credit for my work, okay? That's BS. And not only that, there was a lot of other things I contributed to that company, okay? I contributed a lot to that company. And it's not about ego, it's about being evaluated fairly. Okay. Also, they should be trained in noticing behavioral changes in the target employee. They should also, of course, most of the time this is stated in the employee handbook, but company use of computer is not for any other form of blacklisting. Blacklisting is illegal, and it is also, in my case and in many other cases, is a form of bullying, okay? Nobody has the right to shut somebody out of employment, okay? Now, in some situations, like, for example, there was a girl who worked in accounting, and somehow or another, she ended up stealing, okay? In that situation, she stole from the company account, and she had to go to jail. When she got back, she was not permitted to work in accounting again, okay? I'm on the up and up with these employers, so I've never done anything like that. So they have no right to throw me out of my profession. Let's see. No information comes in, meaning no information from family members or friends. This should be regarded as stalking or potential stalking, and should not be tolerated in any forms. Yes, there are stalking laws, domestic stalking laws, that relate to California employment. Now, I have written this on one of my other videos. I might copy that information and put it in the description box here about domestic stalking. Domestic stalking is against the law. It is written into employment law. In this case, my family is domestic stalking. Now, most of the time when you think of domestic stalking, you're thinking of husband, wife type thing. No, that can mean anybody within your family unit, okay? Stalking. It's all illegal. Okay, domestic stalking is abuse. These employers help my abusers, okay? So my sister created all these nightmare dramas at 2 of my places of employment, okay? 2 of my places of employment. And so somehow or another, they they gave her the right to choose my jobs? That makes no sense. You see how these people erroneously participated in the abuse, and it is abuse. It is abuse. There's no other way to look at it, and I will never look at it any other way. My family is abusive, and these employers helped them to abuse people. This is going on a lot, okay? This is my issue. This is my point. This is the reason why I feel as though this needs to be taken in consideration, okay? There, to me, is no excuse for any employer to ever stalk an employee. Even sometimes in cases where somebody did blow the whistle, that's not the way to handle it. It just isn't. I mean, there's a certain protocol that you follow, and if they don't know, then they really shouldn't be in the positions that they're in. Okay? Let's see here. I already talked about employment laws a long time ago. Exit strategies. This is when you're leaving a company. Exit strategies should be confidential, and employers are only to relate information to other employers relating to their performance. Employment should be verified in a manner that is professional. All evaluations should have already taken place at the time while the employee was in that place of employment. Now, the lady who I used to work for in Chatsworth, I believe, is involved in this, okay? She has no right to still be attached to me. When I left her place of employment, I left her place of employment. Meaning that if I was to fill out a job application and asked her to verify my reference, well then she needs to verify my reference. I don't need to send her Christmas cards or anything else, okay? I don't need to do that, okay? And some people have continued their relationship. My situation there was very bad, okay? And it was extremely abusive. Not quite as bad as the other place, okay? But it was enough for me not to ever want to remember people again. Once I have a bad issue with a person that bad, it's over, okay? Now, I could be civil, but it's over. I don't want to see them again, okay? And people don't understand the trauma that's involved in this. It's not exaggeration. It is serious. Okay. Today I live in constant fear of my stalkers. That would be my own flesh and blood, and I am still receiving racist threats by employers. This needs to stop. And what I mean by racist racist threats, they're calling me with no intention of hiring me just so I can make an appearance. I don't have time for that. Like I said, I was the one who did everything right. I didn't do anything to blow this up. Okay, the reason why everybody knows my business is because of my stalkers and the employers. I did everything. I was on the up and up. I don't deserve it. Okay, so you have a lot of, bloodthirsty racists trying to prove their point, still prove that they actually still have it, or maybe they're trying to compete with the black girl who actually seems to be a little intelligent and they're a little intimidated by it, because that's the only way I can perceive it. Or they wish that they could lynch me like the good old days. Somehow or another, that's the only way I can see it, okay? Nobody has the right to give me the runaround. I didn't do anything to deserve this. Okay, so I would love to make attempts to contact Governor Jerry Brown to see if I can get assistance in promoting this very important, life-changing issue. I know he's probably got it covered or whatever, but I mean, what can I do to participate? What can I do to... I know he has an email address, and I guess I could send him an email, and I guess he's got a zillion other ones, but still, I mean, this is something that is very important. It is affecting my life on a daily basis. Daily, okay? So my life is never going to be the same, okay? So I wanted to thank the people who made contributions to my household. I had someone buy me groceries, grab the family, me and my husband groceries, and I want to say thank you. I like to keep you anonymous, okay? And someone anonymously paid my electric bill, and I want to thank these people. Thank you very much. Whoever it was a member of the collective who decided to have a change of heart, thank you. But still, all fair, be fair, and let me just move on, okay? And try to clear up this mess. You can't clear it up completely, but it needs to clear up because I don't want to be captive, okay? I'm thinking about the quality of my life. I'm thinking about the future, my future. And I'm like, okay, well, what kind of future can I have if I'm always in a hostile environment? That's something I seriously am having a hard time going to bed at night, wondering, how am I going to make it? How am I going to live? Okay, so more opportunities. Oh yeah, I now need assistance with gaining more opportunities to get my life back on track. I don't know how how someone in my situation can get their life back on track. You know, how can I be able to start my life somewhere else or whatever, period. I mean, how do I start, you know? I don't want to waste 1 minute of my time driving down to a place to meet somebody only to get to be given the runaround. You know, I'm constantly nervous and stressed out because I'm not settled, okay? I want to go back to school. I want to feel comfortable, and I want to feel at peace. And I am not going to feel at peace. I'm not going to feel restful until that happens. And I have done everything I could to make that happen, and I've had nothing but people throw crap in my way, when really, they should have done it to my siblings. Okay? Now, the weird part about this is my siblings aren't suffering. I'm the one who's suffering. And I didn't do anything. The only thing I did is I exist in a town that's known for being racist. Okay? And I have never, ever spoken against or out about this sort of lifestyle. That's what they choose to live. That's their business. Okay? But you know what? I don't deserve the disrespect. I really don't. I don't deserve it at all. I have every right to make a living. And I have every right to uproot myself and find somewhere else to go. This should have never, ever circulated. And I have a suspicion that the woman at the accounting firm has something to do with it. Him and her. You had no right to ever have anything to do with my business. I remember going in there talking one time and saying that my boss was like bullying me or whatever. And the lady was just like, well, what are you going to do? Like, well, that's just the way it is. No, it's not the way it is. Why is it that the way it is? Is it because my family's behind it? He thinks he can talk to me anyway. One thing is, for one thing, to come out of my family's mouth, but when it comes from a white man's mouth, I don't know where that's coming from. You know? And it shouldn't come out of his mouth in the first place. These people are stalkers. There's laws against that. Period. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Okay. Boy, I'm going to tell you what. I want to get settled so bad because I'm tired of constantly worrying about me going back to school. Am I going to be able to pursue my goals? Is everything going to be okay? Are we going to be able to pay off all of our bills? Are we ever going to be able to be stable? Okay, and this is what's bothering me so much. Okay, this is what's keeping me awake at night. This is what's making me nervous, antsy, and constantly rambling on making these videos. Okay, it's like I had done nothing to deserve this, okay? I didn't do anything to deserve the mobbings, okay? Thinking about this going on way back in my childhood, this has been going on since I was a kid. Okay, there was nothing I could have done to change the fact that these girls, these women, they're not my family, okay? They're not my fucking flesh and blood. I refuse to acknowledge them, okay? They're competitive, okay? And I'm dealing with all they have basically planted the seeds of something so disgusting and so vile in most of the people that I have to encounter that I'm just sick and tired of people in general at this point. You know, I need a change of pace, okay, because it's like a social cancer. It's made people evil. It's brought out more evil, you know. I never would have guessed in a million years. So there was nothing I could have done. And, you know, like I said, me telling people that, I didn't tell people, but I told my husband, or I lied many years ago about my race, hey, you know what, like I said, he's sitting here in the house with me, okay? And so I got people punishing me, and the issue has to do with white supremacy. I'm not interested in that, okay? It's my business. I can say or feel or think or do anything I want to in my own home, and I should feel comfortable doing it. Okay, I should have I'm entitled to my own opinions. I mean, this is what's so irritating about gang stalking. What's so irritating about gang stalking is the fact that you express opinions, beliefs, ideas that you have as an American citizen in your own home, and then you got strangers coming up wanting to challenge you on your beliefs in the United States of America, in your own home. That's the insanity behind it, okay? And yet, like I said, they always act like they're so proud to be an American. They don't even know what it means to be an American. Okay, we have freedom. Okay, so anyway, once again, I'm going to be making a lot of videos. I, apologize for the rant, but and the rambling and the frustration. But yeah, I'm frustrated. I would love more than anything to be settled, and I would love for other targeted individuals to be settled too. This is wrong. Nobody benefits from this. The only thing that benefits people is their own entertainment, okay? They like doing devious acts. They like being devilish. It doesn't do anything. This hasn't improved my life at all. As anything, it's set me back a bunch of steps. you know? And they punished a person that's innocent. I'm innocent. Okay? My sister is the fucking lunatic. She deserves to be behind bars. I'm sitting here without, you know, a lifestyle. You know, and like I said, I'm not an extravagant person, okay? Maria's very frugal, okay? But I still have the right to make those plans and those goals, and I have a right to them. And, you know, some people are like, well, you know, you're complaining. I am complaining because they've made looking for work a nightmare for no reason, for their own sick, selfish bloodlust. It's disgusting. So anyway, started off trying to be so, like, you know, organized with this video, and then I ended up rambling and going on and on about it. But I think you got the gist of it. I think, you know, this healthy workplace bill, I know it focuses a lot on workplace bullying, you know, behavioral standards a little bit, but I think they're trying to encourage it. But I think there needs to be steps, and it needs to be dissected and talked about and broken up in these little pieces. Because even though the healthy workplace bill doesn't talk or mention gang stalking, oftentimes mobbing turns into gang stalking, and it shouldn't, okay? Everything that the employer has, including their resentments, needs to stay within that employer. It doesn't need to be brought out in the street. Now, I'm going to tell you what, my previous employers, the ones who are here, who assisted my family, and all this nightmare happened, I want those freaks, I don't ever want to see those freaks again. They need to verify my employment and leave me alone. They are weird and they're crazy, and I don't want anything to do with them, okay, other than verify my employment. That's it. Okay? I've seen too many negative sides of people to ever want to say hello or anything. If I saw them in the store, I would ignore them. I would walk right by. Okay? It's for my own mental well-being. Okay? And really, what really should have happened, when all this happened, I should have just left town. I should have just been able to pick up. Of course, these people were probably just then starting to dig into my life and just try to rearrange a bunch of stuff. But I should have left right after that happened, you know, because I don't know what to do. So right now I'm just focusing on my day-to-day task. You know, I get up, I go into work, and I'm trying to take it easy a little bit. I'm trying to get more mental rest. I did get some last night. I laid in the bed and I was listening to some really nice YouTube songs that I got off YouTube that are for, you know, stress, that are for, you know, relieving anxiety and tension. And I listened to them and they were very, very calming. I mean, I need to literally pamper myself to get over all of this. Okay, it's extremely traumatizing. Like I said, this is post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, it is a serious issue. Okay, I'm not here just to sit here and be a drama queen or whatever. I'm not that way. Okay, I really am not. I'm the kind of person I like to keep to myself and I like to keep my business. Okay, but I need to release this. This is a very serious issue, and yeah, I'm terrified and I'm scared to death. I am scared to death. I'm worried about my future. I'm worried about what's going to happen, you know. Am I going to be in this situation, like, forever? Are things going to improve? You know, if I try to find something outside, will I be able to find it? Because I want very much for, you know, me and Joel to have a full life. I want us to be happy and fulfilled in just about every area of life. I mean, I love coming home, and my environment at home is great. I mean, sure, we don't have the greatest furniture or anything like that, but I like being at home. I enjoy my home life, okay? I would like to be more active. You know, I would love to have a girlfriend to go out and do things with. You know, I mean, I would love to have a life, okay? I am very limited. And I keep thinking, well, you know, it would be nice if, you know, Joel and I did have another couple that we could be friends with. Well, you know what, I haven't really been in a situation like that, you know, since I got here. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like, really, it would have been nice had I been able to make a brand new start. That would have been the best thing for me. It would have been better for me to be able to go somewhere where I could just start all over again. That would have been the best thing for me. But these people destroyed that too. So, woo! Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up, and I will be back with another video tomorrow. Hopefully. I'm trying to make as many videos as I possibly can. And I listen to my videos after I make them because I want to think, okay, I'm trying to think, okay, what else needs to be addressed? What else needs to be addressed? so that when I do start healing from this mental trauma, I can get all my notes together and start formulating things and hopefully do it in PowerPoint. You know, I'm not a PowerPoint expert, but I think that my presentations would be better if I could, you know, perfect that skill, because that way you wouldn't have to see me and you could actually like hear my voice, and then you could actually read all the information and view the laws. That's how I'm figuring it out in my mind, and the laws, ideas, and the goals or whatever behind it. But so that's my plan. I'd like to be able to, you know, have better videos, but I personally think my videos would be better if they were in a format like PowerPoint, because like could be more methodical, and I could express my message better. I'm a great writer, so I think it would be much more effective that way. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video and start dinner. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.